Well, I'm moving out of the V-berth. I need to repaint the anchor locker. So have a look at this. What do you reckon? Well, I'm moving out of the V-berth. I'm going to be moving out of here and I'm going to be sleeping in the aft cabin too. And the reason for that is because with the weather now starting to warm up, there's a job I want to get done before it gets too warm, which would make this job a very hot and sweaty one. And what that is I need to repaint the anchor locker. So it's only just daylight now. So I'm going to strip this whole V-berth of all the gear, get myself into that locker, sand it back, and get 2 more epoxy coats on. Like all of the steel, that was sandblasted and epoxy coated before the plate was even cut up. And back in the days before I even started all this fit out, I had given that 1 more epoxy undercoat, but over the time, it looks like it could do with more painting. And given that that's going to be the anchor locker, I want to give that another good coat of epoxy primer, top coat it, and then after that, I'm going to be lining it with rubber.
Can't turn the tide, let the water go where it wants. Somebody told me don't pretend, 'cause everyone could use a friend sometimes. Take some good advice. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break inside. Tell me to worry. Somebody's waiting down the line. Pick up the pieces. Hey, you'll be alright. I can feel the sun and how the wind makes way across the fields. Let me take a breath. Let me be a part of something real. Someone said it's better when you hold on to a helping hand. Sometimes we could all use a friend. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break.
So have a look at this. What do you reckon? It was worth removing them so that I could spray them because they have come up much better. That's not the only reason. Actually, there's two reasons. It is a lot easier to have whatever you're working on flat in front of you where you can use tools right to the edges without having to worry about corners, and things like power tools and hand sanding is a lot more difficult when you got to get into corners. So having these out of the boat just made it so much easier. And as I say, being able to spray those, which I can do outside, something I can't do in here now that I'm at this stage of the fit out, ends up with a much better finish, which, as I always say, nothing's perfect, but it's definitely a lot better than if I had rolled it in place. And this represents a lot of work that I had on my lists of things to do. As you've seen, that anchor locker, getting that all cleaned up and repainted, man, that is a lot of work, and I am so glad that's behind me now. So to explain the method in the madness, what it's all about is, and why I pretty much stopped work on the heads, is because we've had a good turn of weather, and when I looked at the forecast with a trend of temperatures that were going to be getting warmer, it actually grabbed me in my thinking where I was, and I just thought, any job that you have to do, that it's going to be hot, a lot of work, and not so easy, get it done now. So that's why I've basically turned the attention to the V-berth here to get all of this painting done before that hot weather strikes. I am so pleased that I've made that decision. And so with that weather not being hot, I was able to get that anchor locker done without pouring sweat and wrecking all that work. Because in fact, as benign as sweat might seem, it's pretty much kryptonite to epoxy products. So it was so good to get these jobs done before the heat comes on. And as you would have noticed, yes, I was wearing the head and wrist sweatbands. And by the way, I don't care what I look like, people, whatever makes the job easier and quicker. Getting sweat on your surfaces that you're preparing to paint, if it means wearing dicky bands, I'll do it. They work, they mop up the sweat, they stop it from dripping on the job. So that's why I wear those. While I'm here in the V-berth, I'm going to continue. So the job today is to sand the V-berth and these bulkhead panels as well. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't. Click the bell so you get the notifications. Check out my website. And as I always say, leave a comment because I like reading what you have to say.